So the Connecticut Juvenile Justice Alliance has been working in the state for a long time on reforming the juvenile justice system. Over the past 2 years, we've taken a hard look at our internal policies and practices, and are now really focused on making sure that the young people, those who have been first or second-hand experienced by the juvenile or criminal justice system, right? Because we have a lot of people whose parents have been incarcerated, and that has a huge impact on them as well, right? That they're the ones that are at these tables and making these decisions. We talk a lot about building new tables, right? It's not about making sure a young person has a seat at an existing table, but about knocking those tables down and building new tables that are actually rooted in equity and rooted in people who really are the experts being the ones that make the decisions. Until we can make sure that young people are at the table speaking for themselves, how can we help train them and support them to do that? Because these are really scary, intimidating tables. They're made scary and intimidating for a reason, to keep people away from them. And so how can we help to break those things down? If you look, we have a one-pager over here. The Justice Advisors, that's the name that the 18 to 25-year-olds that we work with have given themselves. They have been speaking to their peers over the past year and a half and really doing vision sessions and having conversations. And they have come up with seven themes of what needs to change, what are some of the barriers to them having been successful, what are the things that led them to being into the justice system in the first place. And those themes are economic insecurity, housing insecurity, trauma within their communities, lack of trust in the system, seeing abuse of authority, a need for positive influences and credible messengers, right? As wonderful as my intentions might be, when I talk to a young person who went to Wilbur Cross, who goes to Bassick High School, and I say, boy, I believe in you, you can do it. They say, that's great, white lady, and I appreciate your belief in me, but you didn't grow up in my neighborhood and you don't look like me, so you don't actually know if I can do it, right? But if Lorenzo or Kenyatta or some of the other people here say, hey, I've been there, I get it, I know what's going on, I've lived exactly what you live, and I know you can do it, that's a completely different statement. And that's what they don't get from the systems that we have now. They talk about a lack of hope, right? Some of the similar things, one of the most depressing things is when you have a room full of 17, 18, 19-year-old kids, and they tell you, when you say, what do you need to be successful? They say, don't worry about me, it's too late for me, but you know what you could do for my 12 or 13-year-old cousin, right? How do we work with those young people who don't believe they have a future to teach them about these systems, to teach them about this game? We like to talk a lot about helping young people know the rules of the game just enough so that they can get in and change it all, right? You need to know enough to get into the door, and then how do we change everything once we get in those doors? And they talk about a need for equal opportunities, right? If you want to make me mad, talk about the achievement gap, right? There's no achievement gap, there's an opportunity gap. An achievement gap means that, I've made a personal decision not to achieve, right? An opportunity gap means I never got the chance, right? So we look forward to working with everybody. We're so grateful for Catal for the coalition building that they are doing. What our justice advisors do is work with us on a regular basis to make sure that the things that I say at meetings like this are things that they want me to be saying and things that they want me to talk about whenever possible. They're here doing the speaking on their own behalf. We're kicking off, we're in the process of working as a group to come up with what we're calling the Invest in Me CT campaign, right? That instead of building prisons, instead of investing our dollars, which the state does a lot of, investing dollars into prisons and cages for Black and brown people, we want them to invest their dollars, their love, and their time. And the justice advisors are always very clear about that this isn't just about the money. This is about time and love invested into communities and young people that have been traditionally gotten the opposite, gotten the short end of the stick on that. So we're working on that and developing that. We'll be looking for new coalition partners. Things go a little bit more slowly when you're going as a group and when you're building things together, but we think that that's how we can do things sustainably and the way that they actually need to be done. And we have our current group of justice advisors is based out of Bridgeport. We are currently recruiting. I think Ileana is doing interviews in New Haven next week. And we're actively recruiting in Hartford. We provide hourly stipends, we provide mileage. What we're looking to do is provide support and education about the system, about how it works, how to do public policy work, how some of these things work, and then how can your voice and your experience be part of shaping what we're doing.